So this is Adrian. Right now I'm making a video describing the process of how to properly make an avatar and animations for VRChat. There are different ways you can do it, but all of the ways involve Unity because the game is made with Unity, and in Unity, this is where the development basically takes place. So one thing that you need to do is you have to download the SDK. So there's a pack that you download, and it connects to the service. So in settings here, I sign in with the pack, and then now that I'm signed in, I have a build menu, build control panel. So here I have my it says where I'm logged in as, and then it says my creator status and my avatar creator status. And this will be different for every time you have a different avatar or a different file you're using. It'll have a different not world status, it'll have a different SDK, so you'll have to import that on your own. And then I have over here just general files that I use. So this one is the one I created for the prefab, so that's with the object and with everything. This is the project file. This is the animation I used earlier. You can see the keyframes. It's not very good. Don't like. And then over here, so basically what you need to do when you're making an avatar is you have an object file. So if this is what you created using Blender or some other tool, you have your object file. And then I like to, so here, let me move this out of the way. I like to center it, so I go over here to position 0. Oops. Position 0, 0, 0. And as you can see, it's the same head as this one. And then with these, if you have different costumes or different skins, you can put different things on it. Like this one is for a regular color. So this is for like a white color. And the way this works is that it has inside of this, you can see over here the picture, it has the entire file basically. And then for different parts of the body, you kind of just drag and drop it onto it. So this doesn't matter. This is going to be later, though, the coloring. So, I mean, not very important. One thing you do have to do, though, is if you come to Google, so the skeletal structures are very difficult to, kind of create, and I don't feel like using Blender, so what I did instead was there's this tool called Adobe Mixamo, and basically what it does is if you set up the chin, the structure, pretty much everything, it'll set up the skeletal structures. So if I sign in here, I can upload my character, so I keep mine at here. And it takes a little bit to process it, but here, they already, oh, this is, yeah. So yeah, since I already loaded it one time, it automatically went in and I didn't have to configure it at all. But from here you can download your .fbx. Yeah, .fbx, oh, okay, no. See, I uploaded it as a .fbx. When there's an object file in here somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, so, upload processing. And then here we go. From here you can set up the skeletal structures, so chin, wrist, elbow. And I'm going quickly because I don't necessarily feel like this is too important since I already have a file for it. But then it loads its auto rigging, that's what it's called. It loads its methods, and then, but basically you download the .fbx file from there. And that's including the skeletal structure. So this one, if you click on it and then you go to animator, or you go to select, humanoid, configure, don't save. You can already see that the skeletal structure is here. And then one thing that you'll need to do is that normally, well, Mixamo has their own kind of formula for how they make the skeletal structures, but for VRChat, there are specific things that you need to remove. For example, upper chest. I already did it with this .fbx, but when you come here, you click on it and then you delete it, so upper chest, and then you change the spine to spine 2, and then you delete the toes because VRChat doesn't have toe skeletons. And then done. So that's basically how you bring in the model. If you upload, so if you pull in the .fbx, do I have it here? If you bring in the .fbx, I think it's this one. No. Is it this one? Doesn't matter. This is what it comes out to be. And then you can kind of put in your own costumes on it, so these are just color change varieties. So say I don't want blue, I want white. It's white. Black. Metallic. And then basically all you have to do after that to finish the model is, so for VRChat, it has this thing called the descriptor. So because it's played with like a VR headset. So this descriptor is where your headset lies. And so these numbers, so you see VRChat descriptor, I can change this to 2. It'll be, yeah, that's the height. Lagging a little. But I had it set to, I think, 1.718. That's about how high it should be. And yeah, it'll come out, the headset's over there. And then also, so basically that's how you make a model. These are the different prefab objects. And then after you have your model in there, if you want to put any emotes or kind of animations on it, one thing that I have on this one is a snail marker. So if you go over here, snail marker, and this is something that someone else made. It's very similar to not someone else, I shouldn't say it like that because it's not. It's really just you put in your own animations with an idea that someone else created, which is that offshore, offloaded somewhere like vastly beyond, is a little ink reservoir, and from that ink, whenever you're not using the ink, it'll just stay over there, but when you are using the ink, it'll get transported to your fingertip. So you set that up like this. Animations, draw gun, snail marker, and at the fingertip, if you have a descriptor for it. Anyways, it's a very long and complicated process, and it's not something that I can cover within a video just describing the animations, so I'll do something a little bit simpler. If you want animations with other stuff, so these are the ones that are included with everything else, but if you have a separate set of animations, for example, this specific animation, you can put it onto the character. If you click on the character, you can click on overrides, because these are VRChat animators. So overrides are basically just controllers. So on the controller you have different buttons you can press. And for example, handgun is a button where it's the bottom left part of the controller. And if you click on it, it'll say new drawing. That's because this animation here is set to handgun. So if I plug in here, overrides. Oh, it's loading. If I plug in I can put in the new drawing to any one of these things. Like for example, thumbs up. So whenever I do a thumbs up, it'll do the same thing as whenever I draw. Or instead of drawing, I could put, for thumbs up, I could change that to, where did I have that? Could put a dance on it. It's not very difficult. It's very hard to learn because there's not really anything that kind of teaches you this. I learned a lot through YouTube. But yeah, and then if you want to put this, like for example, so now that you have say that you have your animation on it, over here, I have a new animation. Perhaps for these are how I set up the emotes. These are the regular ones. But now that, say, we have the animation put onto it, we can upload this. So the way you would go about uploading this is you would say, okay, well, now that I have this up and I have everything I want, I have the descriptor up, which is the most important because that's where the actual headset stays. You can go ahead, VRChat SDK, and then there's your build control panel. And then from your build control panel, if everything is working and all of the skeletal structures are fine, it'll come out correct over here, but you could get errors, and it could tell you that it's not a good avatar to publish. In general, like, it won't block you from doing anything as long as the avatar works fine. But if it's like glitched and it doesn't work properly, then it won't let you publish your avatar. And so this is development tools, so you don't really have to do anything for this. You just build and publish, and then it'll show you a little screen. Just exporting right now. Gonna take a minute. And it's gonna load slower because I'm recording at the same time. This is where you upload your thing. Of course, it's from the developers, so this is all made. This is not made by me, but you can kind of name it whatever you want. And the image was with the camera from earlier. You didn't need to do anything for that. Yeah. And so I'm not going to update it because I like how this one looks, and this is the same file as I used before, so it would be updating it and not really for updating it. But that's pretty much how you make the avatars. There's a lot of intricacies that I didn't really go deep into, but I don't really feel like it's necessary, so